Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into Verse Piece with the ultimate weapon tier list. We're breaking down the strongest, the weakest, and everything in between, so if you want to dominate in battles, you don't want to miss this. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping Verse Piece guides, tier lists, and tips every week to keep you ahead of the game. Plus, subscribing means you'll never miss out on the best ways to level up fast and find the rarest weapons. Alright, let's get into the Verse Piece weapon tier list and see which weapons are really worth your time. Alright, let's kick things off with C tier weapons. These are the ones that can get the job done, but they're pretty average compared to what's out there. You'll probably outgrow them as you level up, but they're still worth mentioning. First up, we've got Grimmjow's weapon. It's got some decent speed and flashy moves, but honestly, it just doesn't pack enough punch in higher level fights. It's cool for style points, but not much else. Next is Toji's weapon. It's alright for quick, close range attacks, but it lacks versatility. Against tougher enemies, you'll notice it falls short in both damage and reach. Then there's Kashima's weapon. It's got that electric vibe going for it, but the damage output just isn't consistent. Fun to use, but not reliable when it really counts. Moving on to Excalibur and Saber. You'd think these legendary names would be stronger, right? But in Verse Piece, they're more about aesthetics than actual power. The abilities are decent, but nothing that'll give you an edge in serious battles. Now, Yoru might surprise some people. It looks intimidating, but in practice, it's kind of slow and clunky. The damage is okay, but it doesn't hold up against faster weapons with better combos. Finally, the classic katana. It's your basic starter weapon, good for beginners, but once you get better gear, there's really no reason to stick with it. It's simple, but lacks any standout abilities. So, that's C tier decent weapons, but nothing game changing. Let's move on to the stronger stuff. Now let's move on to the B tier weapons. These are definitely a step up from C tier. They've got solid stats and some unique abilities, but they're still not top tier. They're great for mid game, but you might eventually swap them out for something stronger. First up, we've got Rowan's weapon. It's got decent range and speed, making it pretty versatile in most fights. The damage is solid, but it doesn't quite have that wow factor to push it higher on the list. Next is Stark's weapon. The ranged attacks are definitely a highlight here, letting you keep your distance while still dishing out damage. But the cooldowns can be a bit of a drag, and it's not as effective in close quarters. Then there's Maki's weapon. This one's great for fast, aggressive playstyles. It's quick, with some nice combo potential, but it lacks the heavy hitting power that higher tier weapons have. Still, in the right hands, it can be really effective. Shusui is next. It's got that classic katana vibe, but with better stats and abilities than the regular katana from C tier. The moves are clean, and the damage output is respectable, but it still falls short compared to other legendary weapons. Finally, we've got Rengoku. This one's got some flashy fire effects and solid AO attacks. It's definitely one of the more fun weapons to use in B tier, but the cooldowns can leave you vulnerable if you're not careful. So, B tier weapons are reliable and can hold their own in most battles, but they're just missing that extra edge to make them truly top tier. Ready to check out the heavy hitters? Let's move on to A tier. Now we're getting into the A tier weapons. These are some of the best in the game. They've got powerful abilities, great stats, and can carry you through most of the tough battles in Verse Piece. They might not be completely broken like S tier weapons, but they're definitely worth using if you get your hands on them. First up is Kagenu's weapon. This one's an absolute beast when it comes to versatility. It's got a good mix of speed, range, and power, making it effective in almost any situation. The combos are smooth, and the special abilities can really turn the tide in a fight. It's one of those weapons that feels good to use no matter your playstyle. Next, we've got Ichigo Senjutsu. If you're into high damage, flashy moves, this weapon's for you. The special attacks hit hard and look amazing, plus the range is pretty solid for a melee weapon. It does require some skill to maximize its potential, but once you get the hang of it, Zanjutsu can dominate in both PvP and PvP. Lastly, there's Anubis. This weapon brings a unique style with its quick, precise strikes and special effects. It's got some really cool abilities that can catch opponents off guard, and the speed makes it great for fast-paced combat. It's not just about brute force yet, it rewards players who can master timing and positioning. Overall, A-tier weapons are powerful, reliable, and can easily carry you through the game. They're just a step below the absolute best, but in the right hands, they can compete with even the strongest weapons out there. Now, let's get into the S era, the weapons that completely change the game. Now we're moving into the S era. These weapons are top tier and can completely shift the momentum of a fight in Verse Piece. While they're not the absolute best like S Plus or S Plus, they're still incredibly strong and will give you a serious edge in both PvP and PvP. First, we've got Virgil's weapon. This is all about speed and precision. The combos are lightning fast, and the damage output is insane if you can chain your moves correctly. Plus, the teleportation abilities give you crazy mobility, letting you dodge attacks and strike from unexpected angles. If you like stylish, high-skill weapons, Virgil's got you covered. Next is Kokushibo's weapon. This one is a powerhouse. The range is impressive, and the moves hit hard, making it perfect for both crowd control and single target damage. The visual effects are stunning, but it's not just for show. The abilities can devastate enemies if used properly. It's a weapon that feels heavy and powerful, perfect for players who like overwhelming force. Finally, we have Zenitsu's weapon. Don't let its simplicity fool you. This weapon is all about speed and burst damage. The quick strikes and thunder-based abilities can stun and finish off enemies before they even know what hit them. It's a bit tricky to master since timing is key, but once you do, you'll be zipping across the battlefield taking down opponents with ease. S-tier weapons are incredibly powerful and can dominate in most situations, but the best is still yet to come. Let's move on to the S+ tier, where the truly game-breaking weapons live. Now we're stepping into the S+ tier. These weapons are on another level. They don't just give you an edge, they can completely dominate the battlefield. If you get your hands on one of these, you're going to feel unstoppable in Verse Piece. First up, Alucard's weapon. This isn't just about raw power, it's the versatility that makes it shine. The life-steal mechanics mean you're constantly regenerating health while dishing out massive damage. It's perfect for extended fights since you're almost impossible to take down if you play smart. Plus, the dark, vampiric aesthetic is just awesome. Next is Toji Unleashed. Compared to regular Toji, this version is on steroids. The speed, damage, and combo potential are through the roof. It's a high-risk, high-reward weapon that punishes mistakes but rewards precision. If you like aggressive, in-your-face combat, this is your go-to weapon. Then we have Butterflies. Don't let the name fool you. This weapon is deceptively deadly. The moves are graceful and beautiful, but they deal insane damage over time with poison effects. It's perfect for players who like to wear down their opponents while staying nimble and hard to hit. Finally, Red Mist. This weapon is pure chaos. It's got a berserker vibe, with abilities that boost your damage the longer you stay in the fight. The more aggressive you are, the stronger you get. It's perfect for players who like to rush into battle and overwhelm enemies with relentless force. These S+ tier weapons are game changers, but we're not done yet. The S++ tier is where the absolute best weapons in Verse Piece live. Here the ones that define the meta. Let's get into it. If you've made it this far, you're clearly serious about dominating Verse Piece, so why not hit that like button and subscribe? It helps the channel grow, and you'll get first access to future tier lists, weapon guides, and pro tips to stay ahead of the competition. Plus, who doesn't want to flex that knowledge in-game before everyone else catches on? Now, let's get into the S++ tier, the absolute best of the best. These weapons aren't just powerful, they're game-breaking. If you're lucky enough to snag one of these, you're basically untouchable. First up, Yoriichi's weapon. This is the pinnacle of swordplay in Verse Piece. The speed, precision, and insane damage output make it almost unfair. Combine that with fluid combos and near-instant cooldowns, and you've got a weapon that can shred through any opponent, no matter how tough. Next is Stark, LL. This version of Stark takes everything great about the base weapon and cranks it up to 11. The long-range capabilities are unmatched, and the multi-target attacks let you control the battlefield with ease. It's perfect for players who like to dominate from a distance while keeping enemies on their toes. Then we have Sung Jin Woo's weapon. This isn't just a weapon, it's an entire arsenal. The ability to summon shadows while dealing massive damage makes it feel like you're playing with an army at your back. It's versatile, overwhelming, and perfect for both solo and group battles. Finally, Tsukaiganu V2. The first version was already powerful, but V2 takes it to a whole new level. The stealth mechanics combined with devastating burst damage make this weapon a nightmare to face. You can take out opponents before they even realize what's happening, making it one of the most lethal weapons in the game. Alright, that's the full breakdown of our Verse Piece weapon tier list. We started from the C tier with solid but situational weapons like Grimjaws and Excalibur, moved up to the B tier with reliable choices like Rengoku and Maki, and hit the A tier with standout weapons like Akiko Zangetsu and Anubis. Then we got into the heavy hitters S tier weapons like Virgil, Kokushibo, and Zenitsu that can carry you through most fights with ease. But it didn't stop there. The S plus tier introduced absolute beasts like Alucard, Toji Unleashed, and Red Mist, pushing the limits of what's possible in the game. And finally, we crowned the kings in the S plus tier weapons like Yoriichi, Stark, LL, and Sung Jin Woo, which are game changers, making you practically unstoppable in Verse Piece. If you found this Verse Piece weapon tier list helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me keep the content coming, and you'll be the first to know when new guides, tier lists, and pro tips drop. Plus, who doesn't want that edge over the competition? Drop a comment letting me know which weapon you think deserves the top spot, or if there's one I missed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Verse Piece video.